Hello and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I am here showing this GIF as well as some other promotional images and little sneak peeks that we've got of the MLP Gen 5 movie coming later this year in September. We have a little bit of new information since the last time I made a video about Gen 5. The last time I made a video I basically just went over everything that we knew so far about Gen 5. In today's video we are going to go over what I think is going to happen in the movie and perhaps a little bit of things that are going to happen in the series as a whole. So last time all we had pretty much was this image here, and like as soon as I finished my video, like as soon as I finished that last video, we got this image right here, and then right after that we got this GIF right here. We just got like two new things right on top of each other, so we actually got to see the characters move and everything like that. Now I do apologize for the quality of this GIF right here. It was the best quality I could find. I actually had to screen record this because I literally couldn't download a GIF of this literally anywhere. I couldn't find it. But this is what the characters look like moving. It does worry me a little bit. The movement looks fine. Some of the hair physics I'm not too sure about. The overall like character designs do kind of worry me a little bit again. Now this isn't something that worried me before because this image alone, like this looks really good, but once I see them move in this GIF, for some reason they kind of don't look quite right. I don't know what it is about it, but it just doesn't look quite right. It could just be the quality of the GIF that I have. It could be the fact that there's no background, which is something we're going to have to wait on because we still don't have them moving within a scene yet, which of course is going to be one of the major upsides of the CG or the downsides of the CG, because the background actually does make a huge difference when the characters are moving and stuff like that. But from this GIF, we do get an idea of like their personalities and stuff like that. Obviously, Sunny is this really happy, go-lucky character and everything like that. We kind of already knew that to begin with. But we do have Izzy here, who seems to be a very silly character, a very silly unicorn. Now, I have some theories about Izzy as a whole, but we'll get into that in a moment. And of course, we have Hitch right here, who of course is another Earth pony. He seems to be a guard or some kind of police officer or sheriff or something like that in perhaps Maribay Time or whatever that town was called. Perhaps they're a love interest for Sunny, perhaps they're a brother of Sunny, perhaps they're just some random character who ends up joining them because they feel sorry or something like that. I don't know. Perhaps they're even assigned to go follow Sunny on her journey because the other people are a little bit worried about her. And I have a feeling that Hitch is gonna end up having like this whole like side plot of like he came along because he was kind of asked to and not because he wanted to, and then he's gonna kind of grow a really good bond with the other characters and stuff like that, and it's gonna be a little moment like that. That's what I imagine what's gonna happen with Hitch. He obviously seems to be a very smug character, so it kind of fits with that. But anyway, moving on to this image here, we have this image here. There's like three things in this that no one has pointed out that I've noticed anyway. I don't know why no one is pointing these things out. It actually really bothers me. But first things first, I do want to point out what everyone has pointed out, and that is the fact that Izzy right here, she has a tennis ball on her horn. A lot of people have been speculating what this is about. I don't know why people are so like, what is this? What is this? Like, it's a huge mystery. It's very obviously a random gag. These characters are obviously in some sort of Pegasus town or Pegasus kingdom of some kind. Pegasus Empire, if you will. And they're being brought in by two guards. These two guards most likely found them because Sunny and Izzy most likely went to this Pegasus town because they're looking for help, and or they know something that this Pegasus Empire really needs to know. And so very clearly they went to this town, this empire, whatever you want to call it, and then guards came upon them. They obviously put a tennis ball on her horn because it's sharp. It's going to be a funny little joke that's like 5 seconds long. Maybe they'll end up making a little bit of a joke of it later on or something like that as well. But it's very clearly something that these guards just put on her head because it's like, here you go. You need this because you're under arrest. This is sharp. They're going to do some kind of funny gag like that. And then obviously they're going to be brought in to this Pegasus leader of some kind. Through an elevator. That's something that no one has really pointed out. This is very clearly like a seam. This might not be double doors. This might be an elevator, and the reason why I say that is because of this panel right here. There's a panel over here on the right side, right behind this Pegasus here, that no one has pointed out. Like, I have not seen anyone talk about the fact that this is very clearly an elevator and or the outside of an elevator. So right behind them is very clearly an elevator, and something that sort of correlates with that is if we look out these windows, you can very clearly see that there's snow or clouds or like mist or something like that, implying that they're very high up in the sky right now. And that makes sense that they would be high up in the sky because they're Pegasus. This is very clearly the Pegasus Empire, which again we can get even more evidence on because of the emblem on the door, as well as the armor on them and everything like that. Obviously armor, like no random Pegasus are just gonna have armor. It's very clearly a Pegasus Empire. You can see the emblem on them. It's very clearly Pegasus inspired and everything like that. And this right here just sort of all combines into a scene that most likely is the one that will introduce Pip. Now, Pip is the current suggested sort of theoretical name of the Pegasus in the promotional material that we've gotten. So far, we don't have this character's name, we don't have this character's personality, we don't know literally anything about this character whatsoever. But I'm willing to bet that they're royalty, because again, something that no one seems to have talked about is the fact that Pip has a tiara. Like, this is very clearly a crown, and none of the other characters have anything like that. I don't think this is just some random headpiece that's like, you know, fashionable or whatever like that. This is like a royalty like crown. I'm willing to bet that Pip is going to be some kind of princess and or queen, perhaps. I imagine more so a princess, because that would fit more to this scene over here where they're being brought to perhaps a leader or something like that, and then Pip is going to be like on a seat next to the queen or the king or whatever like that. So I imagine this scene right here, Sunny and Izzy has learned something that they really desperately need to bring to the Pegasus, because they need the Pegasus help for something. Perhaps the Pegasus are the only ones that will be able to help them on this jewel heist that we know about in the article and everything like that. Obviously, it's not going to be an actual jewel heist, but it's going to be something where they need to get something, or they're going to need help to some degree. They come to the Pegasus, they get arrested, and they get brought to the queen or the king or whatever for judgment. While on this elevator, Sunny is going through her notes, her little journal here, going over everything that they've learned so far, as well as like what she already knows, and is getting ready to present this to the king and queen, and perhaps Pip as well. And then of course, Izzy is just lost in the fact that she has a thing on her head. Like, she's probably confused and probably think it's funny or something like that. And perhaps she's about to remove it or something like that, and then the guard's going to slap her or something like that and be like, no, don't do that. Like, slap her hoof so she doesn't move it. So that's what I think is going on here, is that they're going there. Sunny Star Scout is staring at this journal, reading through it, you know, double checking her notes, because she's getting ready to present this to this queen or king or whoever they're being brought to. Something else that I've noticed in this screenshot that I have noticed that some other people have mentioned, and it's very prominent, of course, in this GIF as well. None of the characters have cutie marks. Like, Hitch doesn't have a mark there, he doesn't have one on that side either. Sunny Star Scout doesn't have one on either side. We don't get to see Izzy fully in this GIF, but in every single image that we've gotten for these characters, other than like this one here, which is very clearly for like toys and the bed sheets and stuff like that we got leaked before, in every single like official movie image teaser thing, whatever you want to call it, they don't have cutie marks for some reason. This could tie into the fact that apparently magic has been stolen or lost, or the magic is gone somehow or something like that. It could obviously play into that. That's what I'm willing to bet, is that no one has cutie marks anymore, is because magic has been gone for a really long time. So obviously the next generation wasn't able to develop cutie marks, because that's a big part of magic. So it makes sense that perhaps they will get their marks, obviously, because we have it in certain promotional material such as this. They're obviously going to get marks of some kind. But I'm willing to bet that this entire movie is going to be about these three characters, or specifically Sunny and Izzy and whoever else ends up joining them in on them. It's very clearly going to be about them trying to bring magic back into the world, and perhaps that's why they need a Pegasus. Perhaps they came to the Pegasus Empire because they know about the old stories about Twilight and her friends, and they know that if they get, you know, real good friends from all different kinds of areas and walks of life, they could perhaps use this magic of friendship to bring magic back to the world or something like that. And perhaps that's what they're planning to do. Perhaps that's the whole story as a whole, is like they're trying to bring magic back to the world, and they're doing everything they can possibly to do it. And perhaps near the end of the movie, they actually bring magic back to the world, and they all get their own little cutie mark. So I think that's what the overall premise of the movie is going to be. As for like plot points and stuff like that, I have a suspicion that I already know like the first 10 minutes of this movie, and it kind of makes me sad a little bit. But this image right here is very clearly in the first few minutes of the movie, the first act, if you will. She's getting out of bed. We're going to see a montage here, maybe a musical number of some kind about like her time in Maritime Bay or whatever that Ponytown was called, and she's going to be passing out flyers and trying to get people to sign some stuff, you know, trying to get people together to make some kind of difference in her community. We know she's an activist, so it makes sense that she would perhaps be doing something like this. It's going to go really bad for her. Something's going to happen, something that's worse than anything she's done so far. The townspeople are going to be really, really mad. They're going to consider kicking her out. She's going to meet Izzy. She's going to meet Izzy the unicorn. Izzy is probably not going to have her memory. I imagine this story is going to deal with the fact that, like, Izzy's not going to have her memory. Every single thing that we get to see of Izzy, she is extremely silly. So even if she doesn't have her memory, she is going to potentially be a problem. Like, I hate to say it, but she's probably going to be a problem, and it's probably going to be a contributing factor to Sunny ultimately getting kicked out of the town as a whole. And then, of course, she, after getting kicked out, is going to join Izzy in trying to find hope for this world of some kind. Perhaps even Izzy is going to have her memory, and Izzy's going to say, oh, well, you know, that's not like how it is from where I'm from, or something like that. And that's why I think it's going to happen. I don't think Izzy is going to have her memory. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, and I don't know how well that will work with the story that I'm kind of thinking they're going to go with, but it does kind of make sense somehow to me for Izzy to just not have her memory, because this will allow Izzy to be even more silly than normal, and it will also allow like Izzy to potentially be like, oh, I do remember a little bit more, I just didn't want to tell you this, because that can create some drama and some tension and stuff like that. Now, something else in this image here, obviously Izzy has this like bracelet on. Now, from what I can gather, it doesn't seem like did she have that in this? Yes, she didn't have that in this image here, but that could be anything, and of course her hoof, I guess, is covered up. But I'm willing to bet that this friendship bracelet is just this bracelet here is a friendship bracelet that Sunny ends up making her, or something like that. I imagine that if that is the case, this bracelet's going to end up getting torn off or lost or something like that, and that's going to be a little bit of a dramatic plot point or something like that. But this is what I'm thinking so far for this. Something else I want to mention about this GIF and the movement and the character designs and stuff like that. I think the character designs are great, but we do have a slight issue that a couple people have pointed out, and something that I've noticed. Whenever they face forward, like whenever they look like straight at the camera, or whenever they look sort of at just the right angle, it looks too human. Like the face looks a little bit too human. I mean, it even has eyebrows, for crying out loud. Like it looks a little bit too human. I think something that they could do to help this is to make the eyes a little bit bigger, and maybe kind of change something about the snout here, because the snout doesn't, the muzzle, I guess is the right word. The muzzle just doesn't seem like it's extending out too much. It just looks like it's just part of the face. It just looks a little bit too human, and that's something that's actually bothering me more and more that I look at this. However, in certain images like this, it looks fantastic, and I can't help but think that's because of certain angles that they're using that sort of makes it look normal and right, because this looks good, but this right here kind of looks bad. Like the angle just doesn't look good at all. And then of course we have this GIF over here where there's just constantly switching between, oh my god, that looks really hideous and frightening because it looks human, and then cute and adorable because it looks pony. That is what I wanted to say about this. Now, the fact that they don't have big enough eyes, or the fact that their bodies and stuff like that are a little bit too human or whatever like that, that's something that can and probably will change. If you take a look at the pilot of like any single TV show or whatever, and then take a look at like season 2 or season 3 of that same show, the character designs slightly change as time goes on, so I wouldn't be surprised if these eyes or something like that is ultimately adjusted, especially if it is something that ends up becoming an issue for, the show as a whole, like it's getting bad rep because of that or something. There you have it. That is everything that I wanted to point out, other than one last thing, which is completely not important whatsoever, but the fact that Sunny Star Scout looks a lot like Scootaloo from Gen 4. That is it. That is the last thing I want to point out. I don't think that will actually have anything to do with the show, the movie, or anything like that, but it does look a lot like them, and I think it's kind of funny. But there you have it. Those are my thoughts and my theories on what's going to happen in the movie, as well as what's going on in certain images and stuff like that. So if you guys want to hear more theories and ideas and overall My Little Pony Generation 5 news, then please do subscribe, please do like, share, and do those wonderful things like that, because I'm going to be covering more Generation 5 stuff as well as Ponytown content. Ponytown, of course, is a chat game where you get to be ponies, colorful ponies, and you get to talk and build towns and stuff like that. It's really nice. But I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share, do all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. No, it's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.